Yo! What's happening?
What up?
Back with another episode of the Specktators podcast. I'm your host, Packy, alongside Q the Bars.
Hey.
And Moe-T. Young Daggs is not quite on vacation, but I'm sure he's having a little fun. He's in Vegas for work, quote unquote.
Allegedly.
But
my favorite word.
We'll hold it down here without him. Probably one of our better episodes.
Best yet. Best yet.
Q is. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just letting you.
Hanging out.
Just letting you know who's got the couch.
Expect this for the rest of the year, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's first start out by shouting out the Green Mitten Boys. Rode through their opening in Grand Rapids for their shop. Big success.
Fire, man.
I'm pretty impressed with the shop overall. They put a lot of work into it, and it's a real cool vibe. It's really them.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're both really excited about it, and just talking to them, I know they killed it the first day. The new gear is dope. I wish I would have brought a couple of things I caught, but yeah, cool ass colors, good spring line, bunch of different shit going on there, and we will probably. I've been talking to Danny, and sometime hopefully in the summer, we'll do some collaboration with them. As far as like, I'll go to the shop and we can sign some merch, take some pics, maybe play some vid games at the shop or something like that, or just we'll figure something out.
Yeah, something different.
But yeah, I want to be part of that as much as I can because those are the homies, and I'm proud of what they're doing over there. Shout out to the Spec fans that came through. I know there were a couple people that came up from Indiana, which is sick.
Which is dope.
Yeah, but yeah, Moe-T, what'd you think of the shop?
The shop was super dope. I was actually really impressed with everything that they did there. I don't know how Danny had so much time to like. There were so many custom things that were built up in that shop.
He's got a lot of good connections.
Yeah,
that's a credit to being a good dude.
Like even that create inspire sign, like that had to have taken forever to do.
Yeah, yeah, dude. And then even just that one shelf underneath it was like a custom made.
Yeah,
shelf.
the live edges and everything. that's all custom shit.
Yeah. No, it's
more time than I have.
Pays to know people and have people that can help you do that shit, man. They pulled it off for sure. Let's see, Game of Thrones. Moe-T.
Yeah, what you guys think?
We got to give there's only 6 episodes. We got to get a quick weekly update.
They're really building it up to something epic. Better happen. Next episode.
They just arrived.
I get it.
So it's about to get real.
I understand.
As you know, I'm not like an avid watcher of the show, but I did see that. I don't know who tweeted it, but I think someone on the show. But they were talking about how episode 3 is going to be the longest action of any
dope
cable show in history.
Some record,
yeah.
Some
so
TV
it's about to
record.
be straight gutting.
It makes sense. I mean. Like a bunch of seasons have been leading up to like this battle.
Yeah.
You know,
it's the last season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it makes sense that this would just be a fucking ridiculous battle episode. Who do you think is gonna win, the living or the dead?
The dead always win.
Damn. All my friends are dead.
They got to make the living win because that would be the most like not seen, like not expected.
The
outcome.
Living?
Yeah.
I feel like that is expected.
No, because the way though, like because it's so like Game of Thrones is pretty realistic, like as far as like no. Like,
you gotta take that as a somebody.
like the outcomes, not the characters. The outcomes. Like they kill
like
off so many people.
The Daggs.
And like they're not afraid to kill off even the most popular people.
Like all of the living.
Like all the living.
Yeah, and made them what? Dead.
But the thing is, there's still 3 more episodes after the next one. So if they just killed off all the living, like what would you have?
What
3
if it
episodes
took them 3
of?
episode to kill them all off?
Well, what if?
Yeah,
what
it could, I guess. That'll be the longest.
Yeah. No, I'm serious.
Do you have any crazy theories?
What if the battle lasts like 3 episodes?
Then miss me. I'll be pissed. Don't show me a battle for 3 episodes though. Like I'm in this shit for the story.
Oh, okay.
Like I like the action is dope. You know what I'm saying? And like if you give me a whole episode of this battle, cool. Like I'm down.
Yeah, but what if
there's 4 episodes left, bro.
What if it goes in phases though?
That's fine. Like as long as there's some good in between, I guess. But I
think
was
that's
just
what it's
thinking.
gonna be.
I was just thinking, like based off what Q said, like, and granted, we're not talking any major factual information here. We don't have any of it in front of us. But like the way you said that, I thought you were saying like one sequence of a battle. Like I don't expect it to just be like broken up and then like 20 minutes of something else and then back to the battle.
What I gathered was whatever fighting sequence is happening in episode 3 is going to be the longest fighting sequence in history, apparently.
You got any crazy theories? I'm hearing one.
I mean,
I'm hearing one that the Night King is the Mad King because he's a Targaryen. The Mad King is a Targaryen, and only they can fly dragons, and the Night King's been flying them dragons. So that would make him Jon Snow and Daenerys' dad.
Okay.
And like both Jon Snow and Daenerys survived, like they should be dead. Daenerys in the fire and Jon Snow with the KO with the stabs.
Yeah, but
they're both alive.
What does that mean?
Because he's the Night King. He doesn't want him.
Other than he's their dad.
I don't know. I just saw some people floating it around.
I don't.
Those Star Wars theory.
I don't like that theory.
Yeah.
But the Star Wars theory is like that actually puts more into the story by Darth Vader being his dad. Like the Night King.
Well, obviously they can put some shit into that though.
Like what though?
I mean, you only got a few episodes. Do whatever.
Yeah, I mean, how do you expect this?
Fuck it.
How do you expect?
There's no backstory to that though. I disagree.
All right,
and I don't know shit.
There's probably some thronies out there like, no, it couldn't possibly because.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'm not too invested.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't remember any of the shit that happened like last season, much less season 1. But it is cool when stuff does come like full when they do hit you with the surprises. So
I'm like,
I'm hoping there's some of those. What else we got?
Let me know.
We got Schoolboy dropping on Friday.
Yeah.
Apparently he played golf to manage his depression.
Did you see his GQ? Was that GQ?
Yeah.
Shoot. The shit was tight.
Yep.
Did you hear his single, Crash?
No.
That dropped, last night, today?
What?
Last night, yeah.
Damn, how did I miss that?
I'm not sure.
Is it good?
I like it. I like it more than Chopsticks.
How would you rank the 3?
I would go, they're completely different vibes.
Yeah.
This is more smooth, kind of rider, kind of like real life type shit.
Rank them.
After I describe them, I'd say I like this one, my favorite.
Okay,
this is my favorite. Then I would do
Num
Num Juice, and then Chopsticks.
That's dope. I gotta hear that. Damn, I'm pissed I missed that.
How did I miss that?
I knew I should have fucking said something about that shit in the thread. I knew.
Well,
I saw that he played golf to battle his depression.
Yeah, I retweeted that shit. And I didn't see his next single.
Dang. Well, it's tight. I like it.
Well, yeah.
Well, the first 2 popped up in my Apple Music feed, and then I didn't see.
Got you.
The third one.
Friday. Should be sick.
Yes, sir. I like the artwork.
Maybe that's why.
When
did that drop?
I think today. Maybe last night. I think today.
Maybe that's why.
Last night.
Maybe
Could
today.
If it wasn't today, it was last night.
But yeah, I'll definitely have a review for that next week because I'll peep that as soon as it comes out. You know, you see how I stay up on the Schoolboy releases.
Yeah, clearly.
Lil Dicky dropped that big record with everybody in the industry on it.
I
didn't hear that.
Did you like that?
I really wanted to have an interesting take on it because there's so many names. It's like it's Lil Dicky. He always goes all out for his shit. But I really don't have an interesting take on it. Like cool that he wants to do something, you know, outside of just make an entertaining song. But that's the only reason I just am into Lil Dicky is because of his entertaining shit and like
I don't know. I got pretty infuriated with that song.
Why?
What was it like a?
It was like a climate change awareness.
It's his.
I was literally
it's
about
his
to say,
like
was it
political
like,
song.
I was
you know what I'm
ask
saying?
If
that
it was like the Michael Jackson song.
The world. We are the world.
We are the world.
Yeah.
I was literally.
It was like Lil Dicky's version of that.
Got you.
Yeah. like with some humor and you know.
Yeah, see, but and that's the thing is I like Lil Dicky because of that. He's entertaining and he doesn't touch, like he's strictly the comedian entertaining. He
stays in his lane.
Yeah, and then when he tries to get political, I'm like, dude.
But okay, here's my thing though.
Nope.
I don't disagree with you as just like that's how you feel about it, right? Like how could I disagree and whatever. Everybody's going to have their opinion on it. But from an artist perspective, I hate when it comes down to like, oh, stay in your lane. Like
No.
If you wanted to,
that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
you as a consumer, you just didn't fuck with it.
That, and the biggest thing is, why this? Why this topic?
That's an important topic to him.
But hold on, because
a lot of people,
the way that I'm viewing it is, he picked this topic because it's safe and it would get him a lot of headlines.
Well, yeah,
because I would disagree. I don't think that this topic is safe to him, or
you just said it was
close to him. I think it's safe to him.
How do you know though?
That's my theory.
Yeah, I mean it's like Game of Thrones.
Do you have anything to back it up?
Yeah, because it's too easy. Like he likes to go out on these limbs with the comedy thing, and then all of a sudden he comes out on something that is just like very bubblegummy. Like, how can anyone disagree about this? Like, of course we all love the Earth. Like.
Yeah, I mean,
duh.
Okay, I will say I'm not going to deny that there's an aspect that's like, this is a can't miss. And like, it's an easy way to get all these people involved because like, if you have the right connections to get these people on the phone,
right?
No one's going to turn down this, like, you're doing this great thing, whatever. So you can get all these names and you can get your name in the headlines, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not denying that there's an aspect to that, but he could have not done it too. Like if good things happen because of this, then
it's like Logic's joint is what I kind of like, his 1-800 joint.
Now you're gonna make, because I hated that.
Yeah, I didn't fuck with that song at all. I thought the song was horrible for my taste.
And as far as Lil Dicky goes, the song I didn't like. It's not something I would play. Same with the 1-800 record. Not something I would play.
But like you say, like if something comes out of it, then sweet.
I guess that's what.
It's like, it's a song, you're not gonna fuck with every song.
Yeah. It sucks that we gotta be skeptics like that as far as did he what were his reasons to do it? But at the end of the day, like we'll never know somebody's reasons. Like is the end game, like, does it do a good thing, or it definitely doesn't do a bad thing.
I think if we're comparing Logic's song to his, like, to me, I thought Logic's song, I didn't like both. As songs. I would say I rank Logic's song way higher as far as good song compared to bad song. Like Lil Dicky's, to me, I listened to that song and the song didn't even come first. It was the agenda and then the song.
But do you think that was intentional? Like Logic made his record and he wanted that to be like a Billboard hit. Like he thought it was a really good song.
Yeah.
And I know that topic was really close to his heart.
Mm-hmm. You can tell. Do you think Lil Dicky just made this to be like an infomercial video, viral video?
That's my problem with it.
But if that was his purpose, why do you have to have a problem with it?
Because it's not a good song.
But that's what I mean about artists in their lanes. Like, if his idea was to make a viral video, like an infomercial, but fun infomercial that has a little bit of catchiness, whatever, and it wasn't to go make the next Billboard hit, and he did it, and it got the message he wanted to get across, I don't see why that has to be, like, don't judge it like a Billboard hit then. Like, he created a piece of art. That's something different.
I'm not judging it based on a Billboard hit. I'm judging it based off of it being a song.
I know, but every song is not like, if someone makes a jingle for fucking Charmin, dude,
then I'm judging it because that's
not based on based the same way you would judge like Logic's record.
But this isn't a jingle.
I know. I'm just saying I don't like having to put like art into the specific, like we've talked about with genres and stuff like that. It's like, dude, he wanted to do this. Just because it doesn't fit into the box that you wanted it to fit in.
Was he creating a jingle?
But that's what I'm saying. Why does it have to be? Was he creating a jingle, or was he creating a Billboard hit? What did he create? Look at what he created and take it for what it is.
And I'm saying it's whack.
That's fine. I'm just saying don't try to put it into a box.
No, but in order for me to critique it, I have to put it into a box.
I guess.
I mean, not I guess. Like, that's the way
I think
that
you do
if
you. But I think the first question is, like I just asked, do you think he made it to be like a viral video infomercial type of thing?
Mm-hmm.
That question is putting it into a box.
But that's the first step you got to take. You just said you got to do it to judge it. Okay,
that's right.
And your answer though was yes. So then don't judge it as a song. If you're saying it's an infomercial viral video, don't judge it as a song. If it's not, then fine, judge it as a song. I think it kind of is. So I don't think he meant for it to be like, oh, everyone's going to... I just don't think he meant for it to be everyone's going to love how this song sounds. I think he meant for it to be a moment and to get people's attention.
Whatever.
I wish I heard the song. That would be nice. But
it's not a song. It's a jingle.
Well, I wish I heard whatever he made. I don't know. For me, I don't care unless it's like painfully obvious that he's like taking advantage of like a situation where he's like, I can make money off of this because people do this. I guess that's kind of what art is in a sense. You try to put your own spin on it, but I don't. If he made like a Earth Awareness song, then I'm just like, okay, what does it sound like?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If he's like, go to Lil Dicky website, save the earth. You know what I'm saying? If he's like blatantly exploiting it to me, then it's like, okay, I don't fuck with you getting out of what you normally do. I don't know. I feel like it is kind of intent, but you can't judge intent. So you just kind of base it off of what the fuck does it sound like?
And I mean, that's the tough thing too, is I'm sure all the proceeds are going to like the actual issue and blah, 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 blah. But this day and age, you can't downplay what that exposure does for you in the future. You know what I'm saying?
And you have to know that these guys aren't dumb. Like,
no, I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, even if he meant it, he has to know that I can also benefit from this.
Yeah.
That's why you make music.
Right. And that doesn't make it wrong though.
Exactly.
That's the tricky thing is like, yeah, if 99% of someone was like, well, this is a good way to make money, I couldn't give a shit about the issue, then yeah, that's bad.
Mm-hmm.
But since we'll never really know that, I don't like to be the guy that's
to
like,
me,
that's where he's coming from.
It's the type of music that he does though, as to like if a comedian got on stage and they formulated their whole set around bringing awareness to some cause, and the set was not as funny as the rest of theirs, but they were doing that set to bring awareness on it. To me, it's just kind of like, well, you were doing it based on something other than getting laughs.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
And I guess that's a good point as far as like, if I'm expected to tune into that to laugh, like if I'm in the audience and I'm going to see a comedy show and this shit isn't as funny,
right,
but the message is great.
Yeah.
That's a failure, and I'm disappointed because I came here for laughs.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing about Lil Dicky just going and putting this thing up on the internet. And with artists these days, and he has been a visual, like, viral type of guy.
His track record.
Yeah. But he has been a music artist, and he's made catchy songs. And he's actually a pretty good rapper.
Definitely. Yeah. He can definitely rap.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So, but that being said, that's different than being somewhere as a comedian talking to an audience. You're putting this out to the world on the internet. Yeah, it might miss the people that are here to hear Lil Dicky rap and hear him make a catchy song. It might miss those people.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe that's not what he intended. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, that's fine, but you can use the same argument if there was a comedian sensation that only posted to YouTube and didn't do shows, like, and then he wanted to do a political type of thing, that would be the same thing.
Yeah, it would. And I'm saying, I'm agreeing with you as far as like, as a consumer, like you can be like, well, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about that. Like right. I watched it once because it had all these names and it was a big thing. I watched it once and I was like, oh, okay. and I moved on.
I can say that it's whack because I don't tune into Lil Dicky for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
Especially because he has such a large track record of not that.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's a little bit of a difference of there's artists like Logic that are more known for their other type of stuff, but he has done a lot of other stuff, introspective stuff that's not that.
That's a good conversation because it relates to there's like nuance in that where I feel like we go too far sometimes, where I even was with you a little bit, whether it be athletes, artists, whatever, where just because you say this is whack doesn't mean you're talking about like his right to do it or his like him wanting to do that is whack. It just means I thought it was whack. I didn't like it, and move on. Like, it doesn't have to always go to the extreme of why would he do that? You know what I mean? I feel like sometimes we jump into that with different issues, and it's like, no, it's just
I'm allowed to just think that that's whack.
Yeah,
exactly, and that's why I was saying like, well, what does it sound like? That's all I'm judging on is for me personally is, does it sound good? If it doesn't sound good, then I don't care what it is.
Yeah,
then it was a whack song.
Yeah. All right. More music news. Bun B.
Dude, what the hell?
Victim of an armed robbery, he and his wife, but he held it down.
Yeah, like a true trio king.
So basically, somebody showed up in a mask to he and his wife, his wife's house, his wife Queenie.
Yep.
And she answered the door, thinking it was just some delivery or something like that. Dude's wearing a mask, demanded like valuables. She gave him like keys to the car or whatever, the Audi. And Bun was apparently upstairs and heard some commotion or whatever, met the dude outside while he was getting into the Audi and popped him.
Yeah.
And the dude ran away and left his gun and ended up at a hospital with a gunshot wound in his shoulder and got arrested.
Fucking dumbass.
That's what he gets.
Yeah.
He's lucky he didn't fucking die.
Absolutely. And if he would have died, everyone would have been okay
that's
with
what
it.
I mean, dude, that's the shit that you play with fire, bro.
Yeah.
I mean,
this is what happens.
God, that shit would be scary though, man.
Unreal.
You open the door and a dude with a mask and a gun is standing there.
I'm glad he didn't shoot her, like just off the rip, and then bust in there and then get whatever the fuck he wanted.
Dude, I would shit my pants
That's
if I
insane,
opened the door
man.
and someone's standing there with a gun and a mask.
Dude, I've seen a few just random ass videos online where just random attacks and where people are actually prepared and things like that. There was one in particular where a dude pulls into his garage, and then a dude, as it's closing, a dude runs in, but the dude had his gun like ready, and so he fucking just let loose on him, and the dude ran away. But
oh my God.
I'm like, he had to got hit 10 times.
Holy shit, bro!
Straight adrenaline got him out of there. But dude, just don't
crazy.
fuck with people. Don't fuck with people. Leave people alone.
But shout out Bun for
Yeah,
holding it down,
Bun.
they're fine. He and his wife are fine.
Professor Bun, King, Trio.
Yeah, he might be the ultimate OG.
Absolutely. I love Bun.
A little more music to get out of the way here. Just little topics. Dave East said Old Town Road was whack, which was what made waves in the hip hop community because everybody's just been on the Old Town Road wave so hard. What do you think about that? Like,
and well, after that, I also saw Ebro posted that he thought it was dope. That he thought it was dope that Dave said it was whack. Right, because he likes balance is what his explanation was. And I mean, I agree with that. I agree with if he thinks it's whack, that's fine.
Yeah.
This, like, everything is not for everybody.
Bro, this is almost like, it's not the same, but it just reminds me of the conversation we just had with Lil Dicky is like, do you think Old Town Road was just a song that Lil Nas X went in the studio and organically came up with? Like, that just happened?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think it's a little bit of a parody and, again, trying to make something viral?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
I don't know what the percentages is, but I think he wanted to make a poppin' song, but the way he performed is like he actually was like trying to make it hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like just fucking around.
Because then
and I think he had to go a certain distance to make it country.
Yeah, I mean, even as I listen to it more, I hear him like when he says like cheating on my baby, you know, like all them buys and dies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't a discussion unless he does that.
Exactly, because then it's like, okay, you're just making a shitty joke of like a country song or something. But it sounds like he actually was like, I want to make this a hot country rap song, but also.
And that's the thing, like, it's different from the Lil Dicky shit in the way of, like, regardless of what the intention was, it sounds dope.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean, to a lot of people, obviously.
Right.
And that's where I say the Dave East shit comes in, though, is like, yeah, dude. Do I think that record is, like, a cool record? Yeah, I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from just, like, a hip-hop perspective, am I like, oh, bro, this is like in 5 years, am I gonna be like, dude, remember Old Town Road? Like that shit was hard. Like, no, I might throw it on at a party and be like, remember this shit? And it's funny. You know what I mean? So from Dave East's perspective, it sounded like he was actually talking about, he was like, where are we at in hip hop?
Yeah.
If he's really coming from that perspective, then for sure. But I don't really think anybody's looking at Old Town Road on like where we are in hip hop. It's just a moment.
Yeah, but I think that like the older heads worry about the collective moments. You know what I'm saying?
Of all the youngins,
exactly.
All the
like,
Lils.
There's a whole bunch of the Young Thugs was kind of like the first kind of with the tight shit and the real questionable behavior type thing, and then that was supposed to be kind of just like a thing, way, just kind of a moment. But it's like it's kind of where it is. It's kind of where hip hop is.
Yeah. Maybe as far as like who can be the weirdest.
Yes, who can do some different shit.
Yeah. And that's, I was thinking about this like the last week, and to me, the way that I kind of define like the way the music industry is going is, and what they're trying to protect with all this genre stuff is like when you're an artist, when you're a hip hop artist, or an R&B artist or whatever, it kind of just shines through without you trying to do it. I think what they're trying to protect is people trying to exploit what's popular.
I think you're right. And that's why my first question was why and how do you think he crafted this record? And even though there's part of me that's like, who cares? Yeah. The record was made. What is it? Like, blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, there is an argument to be made that shouldn't matter. But then there's also an argument to like, let's put the shoe on the other foot. We're more hip hop purists. If some artist from another genre literally did some shit, I don't know what it would be, but did some shit just to pop off in hip hop, but it's not genuine.
Mm-hmm.
See, if you
would rub me the wrong way.
If you reversed it, like Billy Ray Cyrus tried to make a rap record, and it can't be. It can be rap, but it can't be rap. Do you see what I'm saying?
It's hard about Miley.
Like getting on all those hip hop records.
When she went through her shit.
Like I thought a lot of that shit was gross.
Yo, she's gross.
And I think a lot of people did.
I think she's gross.
Yeah, I think actually a lot of people in hip hop specifically, like maybe in the mainstream because people just liked Miley and she was getting on the radio and blah 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 blah, whatever. But I think hip hop people, they weren't like supporting that. I don't think.
No, I mean, but like then you get on songs like Mike Will made. You know what I'm saying? That's shit. You get cosigns like that, and people are just like.
But that's what like.
Well, what are Lil you chasing, or are you actually doing?
Well,
it?
But also Lil Nas X is getting Billy Ray Cyrus cosigns, and other artists are saying. And I'm not comparing the two right now. I'm just having a conversation.
Right. And that's what I was thinking when you said like if the shoe was on the other foot, and someone else made like a hip hop song, and just to get popping. My question is it hot?
Right.
Like what's it sound like? Is it hot?
And that's the side of the argument that's like, who cares what the intentions were?
I'm like 99% always on the side of I don't care about all that extra shit unless it.
Especially because intentions are allowed to change. Yeah. Like,
but classifications.
I know, but I could see like, because you're talking about people that don't know these artists personally either. So like, I would be well within my right to wake up tomorrow and decide I'm going to go make a country record. Genuinely. Like I want to. Right?
Yeah.
And if I make it and it's hot, the rest of the world that's ever heard any of my songs or anything or goes and looks into me or whatever is like, this is a joke. This is a hip hop artist that just went and made a country song, right? But people around me that were with me when I had this idea and blah, 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 know I genuinely wanted to make this song.
Right.
But the general consensus will not be that. So it's really hard to put intentions on people. And that's why I think at the end of the day, if you have to choose trying to judge the intentions versus what is this final product, regardless of the intentions, you kind of got to go with the latter.
But the genre, what we based that on in the last podcast was for the end user, right? Like for the listener.
Right.
So to me, it's like, let's say Steve Jobs comes out with the iPad and he classifies it as a laptop instead of a tablet. And people buy it based on the fact that they think that it's a laptop. And then they get pissed because it's not. Like, it doesn't function like a laptop. Technically, you could classify that thing as a laptop. but it would be a lesser than laptop.
Yeah, I get the point you're trying to make,
so
but that's hard to do with music.
No, it's not, because the thing is, if you're a country purist and you're looking for country music and you're basing your search off of country classifications and you see something like Old Town Road on the top of the charts and you're thinking, oh man, the hottest country song in the world, I want to listen to this.
Yeah.
And then you get pissed because you're a country purist.
I know.
You want that.
I'm with you though, dude, but that's why
so
I say
if it's for the listener.
I know, I'm with you, but that's why I say it's hard with music, dude, because when you say a country purist, like I said, I am not well-versed on country music, but I do know that a country purist, there have been plenty of #1 country records recently that country purists would not like to see as the #1 country record. They are way poppy and whatever. Like, they're not country pure records. So
No, I think there's a difference, though, between modern and not modern.
I know, but that's what I'm saying with music. It just gets tough.
No, because we're talking about two different.
It's easy.
No, we're talking about two different things.
Well, that's my thing is we are talking about the user as at the end, but each user is completely different. That's why there is no, okay, like even country purists, I would imagine, have different types of what they think is pure to country.
Would you consider yourself as a hip hop purist?
Dude, Billy Ray Cyrus says Lil Nas X is country. That song is country.
Wait. Regardless of what Billy Ray Cyrus says,
I would call him a country purist, though.
Many articles would say not.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying. We're getting into this debate.
No. I'm trying to break it down, though, as far as like, so if you're a hip hop fan and you're saying like, okay, Tupac and Drake, okay, both are which one is pure hip hop and which one isn't?
I mean, they're both hip hop.
Boom.
It depends.
They're just different. They're just different types. Like, that's it. I'm not talking about the different types. I'm talking about purists.
Right.
Purists will be able. Purists will be able to enjoy both.
Listen.
That's what I'm saying.
What do you say about when I decide to go wake up tomorrow and make a country record? It's not country because I'm a hip hop head.
No. If you want to,
that's what you're saying. Based on the road you're going down, the Old Town Road you're going down, though.
No.
That's what you're saying.
No, what I'm trying to say is, if you want to classify it as country, you can go ahead, but you cannot take advantage of the hip hop side of that. Then.
Oh, well, you're just saying like what I said on a previous podcast, where I feel like just for the use of genres and stuff that you should pick one. Not to say a song can't be multiple genres, but for the users' benefit.
Yes.
When you make a song, you can only be in one.
Because
genre.
I think that there should be a certain amount of pushback as far as like, if you're going to define this in a genre, that's the genre.
Yeah, I think that would be an answer.
I think that's the 100% answer.
The road you were going down where it's like, what would a hip hop purist and a country purist like?
No.
There's no answer to that.
No, but
like, music is so subjective.
It all relates though, because if you're forced to classify something under, it's like the decision that Apple has to make with their laptops. Do you classify it as a tablet or do you classify it as a laptop?
You're still not
sell
gonna,
more.
You're still not going to solve the issue that way, but I think it helps because
I think it helps way more.
Because like Lil Nas X could classify that as country then, and it's still, for anyone that doesn't like it being in the country charts, that's not going to solve your issue. But at least then he has to choose.
It's not gonna solve it. But what I'm saying is people will be way more careful.
It would slow the exploitation of the charts,
and that's what I'm trying to solve.
Yeah,
and that shit. But to me, that shit seems that's impossible. To me, it's impossible not to. To me, there is no pure genre.
No.
I agree with
like
that.
So I say that to say, how can we then put songs into a pure genre list?
To me, it's only to benefit the user. It's not to dub this a country record and not a hip hop record. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like if Old Town Road was in the country charts because they had to choose one and not in the hip hop, I wouldn't sit here and say, "Oh, it's country" because they chose country. It's not hip hop. It just that's the chart.
Yes.
That's the genre they chose for the user. It's like, to use your comparison with computers and stuff, like a tablet and a laptop. Like, you choose tablet because it's a tablet, but it does a lot of the same things a laptop does.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But you just have to choose this for a user to find.
Well, an even better example is they're coming out with these laptop tablet hybrids, but they're classified under every store that you go to as a laptop because it has laptop functionality to it, and they think that they'll sell more based off of the fact that it's a laptop. They don't need to classify it.
They're not classified in tablets at all?
No, if you go to the store and you filter by laptop, it's not classified under the same classification as an iPad is.
Now that we get so deep into this, I'm starting to wonder, like, does this even fucking matter?
Like, what was the main?
I know. Dave East said
Oh yeah.
said Old Town Road was
and
whack.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I think it does, just because I think people get lost in the art of it, and genres literally existed to classify things for the user.
Yeah, I do agree that it's the whole genre issue. It should never go so far as to be like, that's what decides what we think about this record. How we, the user,
right?
Like how we, the consumer of music, talk about this record.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like the record is the record. It can have inspiration from a whole fucking ton of genres. I don't care.
Yeah.
But just to be able to go purchase this music and find this music, choose the genre that's most suitable. Like I feel like that would be.
It's not like Microsoft that's putting up a stink for their tablet laptop solution that Best Buy classified it as a laptop. Like they don't give a fuck.
They probably do though.
No, because on their site they're classifying it as both because they're in control of that. But they're selling more laptops, or they're selling more of that because it's classified.
Well, that's a good point too. You always have control of your product to a certain extent. Mm-hmm. Like just because iTunes says it's country and you submitted it as a country record to iTunes because you have to choose one, doesn't mean you can't market it as a hip hop country hybrid.
You're in control.
I mean, and I would imagine that if Apple if they thought they would make more money with that being advertised as a tablet, then they would do so.
Yeah.
Even on the site.
And that's why I think it should be under the brand or the artist.
I mean, like I understand why we have these things. We do these things just as humans so we understand things. We do it like with food. There are food groups, bro. Everything. Yeah.
Clothing.
You have to like put them in a quote unquote box so you can like understand it.
Yeah.
Or so you can start to break it down.
And that doesn't mean that's it. Like, but that's just the most simple way to do it.
That's what I'm trying to avoid, is saying that's it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because to me, it just seems like there's more with music in particular. I understand everything else because it's kind of like it's like this or this, but music goes like across everything like that. I don't know. It just I understand why we have to do it, right? Because you have to find it.
You have to find it, and what's stopping from somebody like listening to over and over again the Nelly like country song, and not putting their country friends onto it, being like, dude, I discovered this hip hop song that's country. Listen to it and see what you think. And some of them may like it, some of them might not, but he's still hitting that hip hop genre that most people would like because it has mostly hip hop influences.
The other thing is it still doesn't, and I don't want to keep going on this, but it still doesn't solve the question of like who decides, because
I think the artist decides.
No, I know, but if I go make a record today, a hip hop record, and put it on the country charts because I decide. But what if I'm what if Drake decides to go put or even better, like a little more middle of the road artist, hip hop artist just decides to put their next record on the country charts because it'll go #1, but it wouldn't be high on the hip hop charts. But it's not a country record at all.
Then they are making the risk to not be as discoverable in their normal category,
right,
than they would before.
But realistically, in the internet age, that's more discoverable. If you're higher on the charts and you can still market yourself to your hip hop base, like do you think if some hip hop artist has a #1 country record or top 10 country record or something, they're still not going to be able to go? Like, they're probably going to even be more marketable. They're like, hey, this hip-hop artist put out this song on the country charts, and they're going to be doing interviews and all this shit on hip-hop radio stations and blah, 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 blah. Like, so I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't solve the issue to just say pick one genre. It might help certain things, but you still have and I think that's what you're getting at is, like, you want to avoid, and I do too, like, the box. Yeah. The people just saying, this is this. And at the end of the day, you're still going to have somebody, I think, other than the artist, some committee or something that determines, okay, this is acceptable for this genre.
And I agree with that because you just have to do it.
Yeah.
There's no other way to have that determination. But that committee is made up of a bunch of regular-ass fucking people.
Right.
You know, like...
It's the same thing with, like, lawsuits in music. It's like, how are people that have never heard a song determining this?
Because they got the job.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's... And even each one of us in here. Boxing is a perfect example. You have 3 judges ringside watching the exact same fight, and you never have the same score.
Yeah.
Ever. One person always has for one person always has for the other person, and there's the third one who always has it crazy, crazy score. And it's just like, you guys are watching the exact same fight. So, but it's, what do you look for? What do you think is, do you like busy fighters, even if they aren't connecting? Do you like defensive fighters?
Like? Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, what classifies a country record to you?
Exactly.
That might not do it for someone else.
That's what I'm saying. So these are professional judges that this is their job.
Yeah.
They get paid a lot of money, and I would imagine they're fairly successful. But it's, each person's different.
At the end of the day, you just got to make dope records, and if they're dope, they will get.
The last question that I have about that, though, is, and I think the natural question is, why do we even care? Like, we classify all these other things, and it seems to, like, when you actually think about them, you're like, oh yeah, it could be classified as this other thing or whatever, and we tend not to care about a lot of these classifications. Mm-hmm. Why do we care about this one?
I think because it's actually like a catchy record.
Well, I don't know how many records we've seen like get removed from a list.
Right, that too.
It's just like,
that's when it really became a thing.
Exactly. So this song is on a list, and then it got taken off. So it's like, oh, what is this?
If it was never classified as country, it probably would. They might have been able to make it a thing, but they would have had to work to make it a thing.
Probably.
Yeah, it wasn't just naturally a thing. But when somebody gets slighted like that, like then it becomes noticeable and becomes a thing.
But I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't care. It's just an interesting conversation. Mm-hmm. I think. But yeah, I'm over it now. It's not interesting anymore.
Newtown
Road. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, I wanted to touch on. We've talked on the last few podcasts about like leveraging your situation as an artist and stuff like that. And I think something that we didn't stress enough that just made me. Or maybe we didn't even touch on it at all, but I think can answer a lot of the differences in advice and opinions and stuff like that is, and it made me think of it hearing about the Stephen A situation with his like contract. He's coming up for a new contract and how much is he worth and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Is just there's different ways to approach these things business wise when you're at different levels.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of it can just be boiled down to that. Mm-hmm. Like we on this podcast, we tend to give advice to people that are much more small time entrepreneurs, small artists, like people that have not taken off. Mm-hmm. Whereas you go listen to like maybe the Joe Budden podcast or something like that, and Joe Budden is someone that's been in the game, had a hit record, like a hit record, not like wobbin', like a hit record, like a real hit record on the radio and shit like that, and has been signed to major labels and stuff like that. And when he talks ownership and independence and granted, I'm ownership when you can have it is huge. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And independence and doing all these things, he comes at it from a different perspective than I would, and that I would recommend someone who's just starting out.
Right.
So I think that can, because I think there's people that hear all these different things, like people that are just starting out in music and they're like, oh, so-and-so's saying, you know, these people are terrible and never do this. But then this other person's saying, oh, this can be beneficial. Like, which is it? And it just depends on where you are. And that's why I keep going back to leveraging your situation. And the obvious answer is the most you can do on your own, do it. Mm. And then determine what's best for you when opportunities come.
Right.
And if you think you can do better than that opportunity, do it. Mm. And if you can't, then maybe that opportunity is good. Right. And just don't look back in hindsight and be like, oh, I got screwed. You know what it is, and make that decision based on what's around you. I think that's all it is.
It's, I mean, hindsight 2020 with every single thing. Every single thing. You could turn right and at the light and find $100 bill on the ground and be like, that was the best decision I ever made.
Yeah.
You know, but it's each person's situation is different, just like you're saying. So it would be crazy for you to recommend or like give advice as if you were a Joe Budden.
Right.
It makes no sense.
Right.
Because you haven't done what he's done, just not necessarily even numbers wise, just industry.
Everything.
And,
yeah.
And he's way fucking older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
everything.
Life.
Exactly. And it made me think of it. And granted, I will say there's plenty of crossover. Like,
right.
As far as the ownership and independence and stuff like that. Like, that's number one. I don't ever want to get that twisted. That's That's the ideal. That's be Nipsey, be Russ, be these guys that did this shit independently. Like that's be Chance. That's ideal.
Right.
But everyone can't do that. That's the thing. And what made me think about it with the Stephen A. Smith shit that I thought was interesting is that they were kind of talking about when he goes on another ESPN show, he obviously brings a certain amount of value to that show.
Right. Because
it's like, oh, no one's tuned in, but we want to hear Stephen A. Smith. And he deserves to be compensated for that.
Yeah.
But I'll keep using him as the example, just as like the higher up in the industry, the Joe Buddens would say, yeah, Stephen A. Smith, he goes on these shows, he brings their audience up, whatever, he deserves to be compensated, blah, blah, blah. I totally agree. There's another side to that coin, though, and Stephen A. Smith probably did it. Like, I haven't paid close attention to his career, and I know we did it as artists. Lots of artists have done this, and in hindsight, I don't look at it as bad. I look at it as part of the job, and I think a lot of people look at it as bad. Is you overextend yourself. You do like more shit than what you're getting paid for.
Right.
And that's what Stephen A. Smith has done, and that's why I totally agree that when his contract is up, make sure he cash in, bro, because you've earned it now. But while he's doing all this shit, he's probably not making as much as he's worth.
Right.
But he's establishing his value.
Right.
He's establishing his leverage so that when the contract's up, he can cash in. And I think that's where it just gets missed is like people like to take a snapshot in time. Like maybe, let's say 3 years ago, look at Stephen A. Smith and be like, oh, dude, you're underpaid because he's out here grinding, doing all this other shit.
Right.
Right. He's establishing that leverage, though.
Yep.
And then now here we are 3 years later, and it's like, okay, let's get it.
Yeah. You can't argue with it. I mean,
dude, how many shows did we do for no money? For no whatever, like we did all this
years.
Shit. Yeah, if it's just all about getting compensated for your work, then we were getting ripped off. But I don't look at it like we got ripped off, we got screwed.
Well, and even think about it, if it was getting compensated for your work and we were doing it early, what work did we put in? So what did we deserve? You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Not our time is worth something.
Exactly.
And we practiced and we did shit to actually garner what we thought we deserved or whatever the money that we got. But you still, like, if you're early in the game, you can't expect to get compensated for putting in a bunch of work when you haven't put work in. It makes no sense.
Yeah. And you just got to determine, like, dude, when you're a young artist, like, I'll just use the show as the best example. You could go to a show where somebody is not going to pay you, but you're going to be in front of, 40 people that you wouldn't have been in front of.
Right.
Or you can say, you're not paying me, not worth it, which is fair because I'm not saying you don't deserve to be paid for live performances. That's work, especially if you put on a good show.
Right.
But if you don't get the show because you're not getting paid, then who really lost out?
Right.
Because they probably got someone else. And that someone performed in front of those 40 people and you didn't. So you just got to make those decisions on what your time and energy is worth. And I'm not saying it's always worth it. You got to make that determination. But a lot of times, especially when you're coming up as an entrepreneur in anything,
right.
I think any entrepreneur can relate to that shit. Any type of person with any type of hustle. You do a certain amount of shit at the beginning, a lot of times for a while.
Yeah.
That you should be making way more money or any money, and you're not.
Yeah.
But eventually, if you do it right, you create that leverage and you can cash in later.
And it's up to you to determine whether it's worth it or not. I mean, of course, you'll get a bunch of opportunities to do free shit. People will always take you to do free shit, but you also don't want to overextend yourself and be like, well, I'm worth this, so I'm not doing it unless this, because you will miss out on a lot of opportunities.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there's always somebody willing to be like, I'll do it for free.
Yep.
I'm grinding.
That was kind of our bar when we were coming up, is like, as long as it seemed like a decent opportunity, we did anything as long as we didn't have to come out of pocket.
Right.
We would never pay to go do something, because then if it's not as good as you thought, if it's nothing, if it's shitty, you're like, wow, not only did I waste my time, but I wasted my money.
Yeah.
But I could always look back and be like, dude, quote unquote, wasting my time. Like, if it's not as good as I thought, whatever, dude. I could have stayed home and watched TV. That's no skin off my back.
Right.
So, and like I said, that bar is different for everybody.
Right. And listen, I think it may have been, there was always those showcases. You remember back in the day? There's like 100 people on the fucking tab.
Yep.
And
5 people in the
it's insane. I don't know how
you're literally just being watched by everybody else that's performing.
Exactly. They finessed the hell out of you. But I think we did I think Daggs and I like paid to do one of those because it was supposed to be, I think it may have been the Twister show that we did in Jackson. And it was a showcase, 100 motherfuckers, not many people out there. It was like, well, we'll do it because we'll get in front of Twister or whoever the fuck fucks with Twister type shit. So we weighed that out, and it was worth it to us at the time.
Exactly. The bar's different for every opportunity, for every person.
And looking back, I'm like, oh, man, we got fucking, I wouldn't have done that shit. Because, of course, we did it, and I look back, and, you know, hindsight 2020 all the time.
But in that moment, there was a reason you did it.
Exactly. Yeah. We're like, well, when are we going to get an opportunity to get in front of these people?
Because the unfortunate thing is with so many things, man, there's hypotheticals. There's the unknown. You're rarely going to know. Like, oh, I do this, I'm going to get X amount of fans. Like, I'm going to perform in front of X amount of people. You rarely know any type of information like that. And a lot of times it can be nobody or a zillion people. Like, you just don't know. And so you just got to do your best to gauge the opportunity and go from there. All right. I have a really interesting topic, I think. I want to wait for Mo to come back though, cuz I want to even get his opinion on it. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I'll skip to oh yeah, let's talk about Dame.
That'd be quick.
Yeah. Dame Lillard, obviously the GOAT.
Dame. Better than Jordan. I've been a fan since I've had a Dame Lillard jersey since 81, probably.
Definitely confirmed as my favorite player in the league.
Yo, cold as ice.
Yeah. There's no real hot take on this. Like, I feel like, yeah, there's certain people that are starting to warm up to Dame, but it's understandable because he hasn't been to the finals. He hasn't been to the conference finals. Like, there's just a lot of casual NBA fans and he plays on the West Coast. There's a lot of casual NBA fans that don't know a ton about him.
So for the casual NBA fans, Dame Dollars hit a 37-foot 3-point shot to get his 50th point and to knock OKC out of the series. Buzzer beater. Yo, cold as ice. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
After the game, Westbrook and Paul George did an interview, and they asked Paul George about the last shot because he was guarding Dame. And he just said, it's a bad shot. It's just a bad shot. I don't care what anyone says. He took a bad shot and, like, basically got lucky. What do you think about that?
First of all, I saw somebody tweet that it's funny that Paul George would talk about a bad shot sitting next to Russell Westbrook.
Yes, exactly.
But outside of that, okay, here's my honest opinion on that Paul George comment. Yes, it's a bad shot in the sense that if I'm Paul George, go ahead and take that, Dame.
Mm-hmm.
It's also a bad shot if I'm a Portland fan, if I'm the coach, if I'm another teammate. Because of how good Dame is, I'm like, you can get an easier shot than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, go to the bucket, you can get an easier shot.
Mm-hmm. But
where I totally disagree with Paul George, and this is the majority of how I feel, is don't come out and say that after you just get dotted.
The emotions are high. Emotions
do
high.
not come out and say that.
That's bullshit. That shot. Fuck that.
And second of all, it's not a bad shot for Dame Lillard.
Not at all.
I saw some stat on like he's like over 50% from 30 feet or more in the playoffs.
6 for 8 from where he shot.
Stupid. He made one from the exact same spot earlier in the half.
He shot that too easy.
Yeah, and so someone that's more than 50% from that distance or from like a similar distance and is already 1 for 1 from that spot in the game and then is 2 for 2. Once is lucky, twice is skill, they say. And dude, it's like he can't just keep knocking these in and you say it's luck. It's a bad shot. Like, so yeah, I get it depends on your definition of a bad shot. I would never call it a bad shot after it just happened to me. I would never call it a bad shot after that.
Because you look crazy.
Right. That being said, if I'm Paul George and I get to literally choose anywhere on the court to have him shoot from within the half court, that's where I'm making him shoot from.
And another reason I don't think it's a bad shot is because it was tied. So if he misses it, you're going to overtime. And they were probably going to beat that ass in overtime too because they were killing them. The score went back and forth.
It was weird because
they were hot for it.
Yeah, it was weird because Dame started super hot, and obviously
34 in the first half, quarter.
Yeah, first half, and it was a lot in the first quarter, I think.
Yeah, Klay Thompson shit.
Yeah, but it was real back and forth. But I did keep thinking in the fourth quarter, like when the Thunder were up late, like they were up 8 pretty late in the game, and I was like, damn, because I love Dame, so I wanted the Blazers to win, and he was playing well, and I kept looking at the score like, damn, they're gonna lose. But then, so I guess OT, I probably would have picked the Blazers too. But it was a back and forth game. I don't know. It's just crazy that might be okay. Take the fact that this was in the first round and there have been game winners in the championship and stuff like that. Just on the actual shot alone, that might be like one of the illest game winners of all time.
And his reaction was probably the illest reaction I've ever seen. When everyone's just when everyone's jumping on him on the ground, he's just staring at the camera like
Who's your top 3 point guards in the league right now? If you had to rank them.
And see, this is like music shit because it's like,
it's all subjective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Pure point guard.
Yeah, it's all subjective, but just your favorites. Like if you were starting a team, who would be your top 3?
I'd say Steph number 1. I'd say or Kyrie. I'll put Steph just for the shooting, but Steph, Kyrie.
Then it'd probably be between like Dame, Russ, CP3, Wall.
Dame or CP3 is winning that one pretty easy. Dame probably. I mean, he's in his prime right now.
I'd probably go Steph, Dame, Kyrie.
CP Prime though.
CP Prime, yeah. CP Prime's nice. I do think though now that's like to me a pretty clear top 3. Kyrie, Steph, and Dame in whatever order you decide to put them.
Yeah.
I like. Because next would probably be like Russ or CP3, and I just think, especially now that you see Dame go 1-on-1 against Russ, it seems like there's a little bit of a difference there. Not in that Russ isn't talented, but in just like doing what you got to do to win games and benefit to your team, value to your team.
Yo, and I will say too before we end this shit, it's usually people on TV, but everyone shitting on Russ literally makes me want to like him more.
Yeah,
like fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Because he was playing his ass off that game.
Dude, and
he tries.
That's like kind of what we talked about early in this podcast, like about going too far with something. Because, dude, I'm not a big Russ guy. But I think he's like the 4th best point guard in the league. Like, I would pick him as the 4th point guard to put on my team.
Yeah.
So that's not saying he sucks. It's just that, like,
it's not your cup of tea.
Someone that averages a triple-double and like is obviously talented and obviously wants to win. Like to just not be able to get over the hump, there's just something about it. And then there's little things about how he plays that I don't like, blah, 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 right? But I agree with you with sports and probably even music and shit is like when a ton of people just go too far with it, it makes you want to be like, okay.
Fuck that. I'm honest.
Like I talk with like some of my, I'm trying to think, like Max about certain people's reaction to like State games and Lions games and stuff like that, and it like makes you not want to be a fan of that team because people just S their D so hard or like think they're on the team. Like you can't criticize this team if you're a real fan. It's like okay, I'm not a fan then. Exactly. Like I'm off the bandwagon. But dude, it's looking like all chalk in the playoffs so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in both conferences. That's gonna make for some sick matchups. I was just looking at that today. Warriors Rockets in the second round. Blazers Nuggets. That's gonna be dope.
It's different.
Bucks Celtics. That's gonna be dope.
That's gonna be dope.
Raptors Sixers. Like there's not a bad matchup in there, bro. That's gonna be tight.
Good. Let's get it.
All right, Mo. I got an interesting topic, and I wanted you back for this.
Present.
We've all been artists at one point or another. Continue to be. The topic is being a rapper in a relationship and how that affects your material and how you go about that.
How that affects your material.
So the reason I was thinking about it is
I'm a rapper.
I have material.
I also have a girlfriend.
And I have a girlfriend.
I am in a relationship.
But I have a song coming out on Friday.
Uh-oh.
And it's like, yeah, it is. It's like the downside of a relationship, like bad times, you know, which everybody experiences in relationships.
Right.
But not everyone puts things out there publicly.
Right.
And like when we were, you know, young and didn't give a fuck, it was a little different as far as like, A, maybe seriousness of the relationship, or B, just like where you were at, how much you cared, whatever. But like now we're a little older, a little more mature, like, and I actually am in a relationship that matters to me and is like important, and I care about that person's feelings. But at the same time, I feel like as soon as you stop putting out honest art, and like, I'm not going to be the guy that's like, let's put it this way. Music, don't you think the biggest topic in music is relationships, romantic relationships?
Yes.
So if I'm in a relationship and I'm an honest artist that doesn't have ghostwriters, that talks about my life, am I just going to be my girlfriend is the best guy, like every romantic song?
Corny.
So you got to include the downs.
Yeah.
And that gets tricky. Like, have you did you experience that when you were writing? Like,
yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I think the biggest issue, obviously, because you want to be honest, because you don't want to be a faking ass rapper.
Yeah.
No one wants that. And then that'll make your career quite short.
Yeah.
So, but the problem is that your girls are quite often fans of your music. You know what I'm saying? But you as an artist, you have to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
By like keeping it real. And either they don't want people to know that.
Which is fair.
Which is very fair. Absolutely. Absolutely. But they also have to know that comes with territory.
Yeah.
But it's hard.
And I mean,
it's just whack.
Dude, it's even hard
whack.
too, because it's like, okay, I consider myself like honest when it comes to my music.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you make art, it's not autobiographical.
Right.
It's not like every line can be taken and it's like that happened exactly like that, or it's like you form a song. It's like a based off a true story movie.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And to me, that was what I meant to say. That's the problem that I found. I don't know with who, but when you like, let's say that you are making a song that's not necessarily about the person that you're with. You know, like that happens all the time where it's like your boy is going through something or whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be current events.
Right. But they think that because you're an honest artist that it's everything that's happening in your life.
Well, you said current events. That's even part of the thing too, is like music, dude. We know how often shit just sits on the back burner. Like,
Forever.
dude, this song coming out Friday was made in like September.
Yeah.
And like for some of these reasons, I was like, I don't know if I want to put it out, you know, blah, blah. And I don't want to hype this up like it's oh my God, the tea is going to be spilled.
Pre-save link
it's just,
in the description.
Yeah, it's not anything crazy. It's just like, it's just more of the downside than the upside of a relationship. And, but, the current events part. It's like that also is weird in the relationship in real life, because it's like, yeah, you know, some shit happened maybe that made you want to write this shit back when it happened. Right. And then 6 months later, it's coming out for the public.
Why
and it's
you bringing
like,
up, shit.
Yeah, you got to put me through like it sucks.
No, I know.
But I do think like as soon as you, and that's what's like, let me say in my situation with Glow, like some of the fans know her and shit like that. And it's like, I've been super happy with, I showed her the song and she's cool. Like, obviously, she's sad that like the song was made, period.
Right.
And, you know, she's anxious about it coming out, just not even because of like random ass fans, because some of them might not even know who she is, whatever, but just because of like, you know, people we know listen to this shit and like blah, blah. And she doesn't want to, you know, people to think, anything's going on, whatever. And that's understandable.
Yeah.
And I hate that I'm like voluntarily putting something out to cause these issues.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it really is just like as soon as you start to stifle that shit. And unfortunately, I think a lot of rappers, but definitely me, like a lot of your I started rapping and writing as like, you know, a diary. Like you just kind of write down what's going on. And it tends to be more like you run to that place when some shitty thing happens. More than you do when it's like everything's going great. I'm gonna go run to my diary. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So things can be skewed, like whatever, but it makes it difficult, man. It's a tough.
I don't think it has to be even viewed that way though. Is to me, when you do stuff like this, and it doesn't even have to be creative. It just has to be, you're in the public eye. So what are you gonna base your opinion off of or give it to the world? It's always gonna be based off of your personal experience. So you just tend to be more in the public eye than a normal person. Everybody's basing every opinion that they give anybody in public or in private based off of their own personal opinion. You just happen to be in the public eye and be making money off of it and making a living off of it. It's no different than anybody else just talking to their friends and being like, yes, I agree, one's more private than the other.
Yeah, there is a difference, but I hear what you're saying. You got to treat it like that as an artist.
Well, and even somebody that benefits off of it, because at a certain point you have to grow in maturity and be like, hey, this guy has established a sense of living off of this, off of being honest to his fans. Like,
well, yeah, because that's the thing. As soon as you lose that, and you can tell when artists actually like talk about shit that like happened to them and that they feel this shit in their music, and people that have writers and stuff like that.
Because fans will let you know.
Yeah.
A lot of times they'll be like, it sounds like you're talking to me. Yeah. Like, and that's only because you're talking from a real place.
Shit.
But it's almost like a YouTube comment or a negative comment in the sense that I'm sure you have so many songs. I know this for a fact because I listen to them. You have so many songs that are glowing about glow, if you will, per se. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, that's kind of expected.
That's the cool thing about music too, is that like, honestly, because of the record that's dropping Friday, I also, in thinking about like putting it out, I made a record that is like, to me, one of the most beautiful records I've made. And I put it to the side, like hoping to put it on the album, whatever. But it probably wouldn't have happened if not for the first one.
Yeah.
And that's the
life.
cool thing. That's the cool thing about rolling with it and shit like that. And also at this point in my career, like I'm not the youngest cat. Like I'm not just starting out when it was like all for us. Like you started off just doing shit for you. It was like, this is fun. Yeah. I'm going to put it out. Now, like the biggest part of me puts shit out for the fans. And so, like I said, I made this shit back in, September, whatever, wrote this shit.
Right.
And was sitting on it and was just like, dude, and this is kind of what I even talked to Glow about, is there are fans, there are people out there that will hear this and relate to it.
Right.
And it'll mean something to them.
And it'll help them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if it's one person,
sweet.
That's all that matters, dude. And that's all that matters from an artist's perspective when it comes to their music.
And I think that songs like that, I haven't heard it, but I think songs like this also, because you got to like, you kind of sort through whatever was going on personally, and then you put it on wax.
Yeah.
Then, I mean, obviously you guys got through it.
Yeah.
Because you're still together.
Right.
So then it's almost like it helps both of you. It helps like, you just reflect. End of it,
coming out the other end.
Exactly. You can just reflect. And then it's like, this is how I felt. And I mean, the fact where you can look back on something is a sign of growth.
Yeah.
So things like this, like Mo said, it's life. Like you have to go through shitty shit.
Yeah.
So then
I think there's
to your point too, like it does, not to get too sappy, but it does make me appreciative of the woman that I'm with, given that like I'm an artist, right? It shows in actions that she respects what I do, and
it
like
better for
she respects what I does and is cool with that aspect of it, because in this situation she has to be confronted with it head on.
Yeah.
And like, are you really cool with this shit, or is it just like, nah?
And there's a certain sense of maturity though too.
Absolutely.
Because this doesn't even pertain to just artists. Like this pertains to like radio hosts, podcasts, news people. People always grab from their personal experiences and put it on air.
Look how much we love reality TV this day and age.
Because it's the most it's the most relatable thing,
right?
And that's the reason why your fans and the people that buy into your brand fuck with you the most, is because you're real. So if you're looking to benefit from that situation, your significant other has to realize that this is real life, and
Absolutely.
I talk about that.
Yep.
And yes, 21-year-old me might not have been able to deal with that as well as 31-year-old me would be able to.
That is so fucking perfect, because that is when my biggest issues were, is when I was younger and when the girl was younger. Like when you can't, like you aren't able to handle like the
You're
insecurities.
not as level-headed.
Exactly. You can't handle getting put on blast, like shit that you did wrong. You know, no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear that. But if you're older, more mature, you've gone through that shit and you kind of realize, okay, I might have been tripping out. This is like, it's a healing thing, you know, to make this shit art, put it out there, deal with it. I mean,
it's a different thing. Like to sign up for that, to have, you know, shit be based on you, written about you, putting out for the public consumption. Like that's just not cool with everybody.
No one's like, hey, do this about me. It's like, no, I'm gonna
but that's a choice. Is you can literally say, I don't want to date somebody like that.
Yeah,
because if your personality and that would be understandable, that there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, because then at the same time, like you even referenced, like I've written some of my favorite songs about the positive aspects of our relationship and shit like that. And I think like even talking to Glow, like she loves Delirious, and like so you get that cool side of it that other people wouldn't get in a relationship. Somebody writing songs about you, right?
Right.
And then you get the other side of it.
That's what it
is. The creative side is just like another life that lives through you because it has ups and downs. Yeah. Like you can't only have the happy songs.
No.
You have to have the ones that...
There's a reason no one wants that. People don't want that shit.
Because everybody is not living the happy times.
Absolutely not. And you have to share what you've been through, because it's nuts how you think that you're the only fucking person going through this shit. And for the most part, you are specific situations, but overall.
But so much can be taken from different situations.
And that's why songs are cool and making music is cool. And it's like I said, everything's based off a true story. It's not like you're giving some historical account of some issue. You're not talking to like a couples counselor and being like, this is what happened, this is what happened.
Right.
You're taking from different aspects too.
And like different things, and you're crafting a song, and that's what people can relate to. It's like you talk vaguely enough that people can be like, okay, you give specifics to let people know that shit's real, and then you talk vaguely enough that people can relate to it, and I think that's what people like.
Some artists like are all in. This is exactly what happened. Whoop whoop whoop. Some people are like Eminem, where it's like he imagines all this shit that happens to his significant other type thing. It's like, just because I'm saying it doesn't mean it's true per se.
Yeah.
But you grab from the fantasy and you grab from the reality, and that's just the way that storytelling is done, and that's it.
And in writing a song, the more extreme things are what stand out to people. Like, I love you or I hate you. Like, you don't write a song about being lukewarm towards somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And even with the love, there's a whole lot of love, which is great. That's great. But it's like people need, like Mo said, not everyone's happy. No one's happy all the fucking time.
No.
So when you have those down times and you hear a song that's like, damn, I fuck with this person. I thought they were all happy all the time. They go through real shit too.
Yeah. Man. And that makes you be able to deal with it even better. Because then you know somebody is going through the same stuff that you are.
Right.
Yeah,
or at least aspects.
That's probably my favorite part about making music is the relatability aspect. Like getting people messaging you and sending you stuff that's like, hey, this shit was so, yeah.
That part is like, I will never be able to wrap my mind around how, I think of that Nipsey quote that he got from somewhere, but like the highest human act is to inspire. That shit is so real.
Yeah.
It's like to make someone else like feel.
Right. Yeah.
That shit's nuts.
Yeah. I can't, it's my own quote and I can't even remember what it was, but
you didn't write it?
in Breathe, I have a reference to like something about, I don't rap so you feel happy. I rap so that you feel.
Yeah.
Like
bars.
Yeah. It's just feel something. Like whatever I'm going through, I hope you like can feel that, relate to it, and know that somebody else is going through it, whether it's happy or sad.
Exactly. Yo, hell yeah.
Word. Good combo. Yeah. I feel like all the years in music, we've never really just like, here and there we've talked about it, whatever, but not actually had a discussion about it.
Yeah. I don't know if we were in our, and I'm not going to speak for all of us. I'll speak for my fucking self. I wasn't ready to be like on air. This is how me and my girl feel.
Yeah. Well, dude, even that.
I don't think we were mature enough to have that discussion.
No. That's why I had to say when I was younger, because when I was younger, I didn't give a fuck. I'm like, I don't care. I'm an artist. I make music. Woo, woo,
it's for my damn self.
Exactly.
That's a good point though. Is like back in the day, music came first. I don't give a fuck.
Exactly.
Like that's not even a conversation.
No,
now it's like my girl comes first.
Yeah. Well, my music affects people.
But it's like this person comes first.
Yeah.
And so like if this person was literally like, no, I don't want you to do that, blah, blah, that would be a massive issue.
Yeah, for sure.
But
then you have some decisions to
back
make.
in the day, if that person was like, no, I don't want you to do this, I'd be like, fuck you.
Just step in.
There'll be another person that does want me to do that.
They'll be at the show.
Right.
Probably came with you. Allegedly.
Oh, since we're talking about relationships, I failed to mention a couple weeks ago, just a funny snippet. Glow, we were going out of town. I can't remember where now, like either Grand Rapids or Detroit or something. And she asked me before we left, she goes, can we stop by the Secretary of State on the way?
Stop by.
You mean camp out?
Cancel the trip?
She's about to be pissed at me now. Forget the song, dude.
Yeah, let's just stop by. Let's see what's popping.
Everything.
Right.
It's always popping.
I was like, no, but you can stop by after you do that.
Oh, that shit's funny.
Well, you can reserve a spot if your phone's on me. We'll say she did that.
All right, the last real topic I got is Kanye's Coachella set, the Sunday service shit. Did any of you guys? I know you were just kind of peeping some of that before the pod.
Yeah, dude, that was fucking sweet.
Yeah, that looked dope,
what I saw with because I'm like most black people. You grow up in the church, and like the Christian church with the choir be turning up, and that shit took me all the way back. And they sound, I love choir sounds. Like when they're all harmonized, it just sounds so good. And they were out there getting it. I mean, from what I saw, I only saw a few minutes of it, but it sounded good.
Yeah.
And I don't fuck with Kanye. You know this.
Did you see any of it, Mo?
No.
It was like, you should look it up real quick and see if you can put up, because did you see, I know you were seeing some close-ups of his set. Did you see like the whole scene?
I didn't know.
See if you can find anything of that, Mo, because it looked pretty dope.
Were they like in Jerusalem or something? That's what it's supposed to look like.
I don't know. Yeah, like he was on the mount. You know, I don't know if it was supposed to be that or not, but that's what it ended up like, kind of looking like. So it probably was. But yeah, he was kind of like this hill in the middle of this just green grass expanse, and he even had like performers kind of out in the crowd here and there, and it was just I thought it was a really cool vibe.
I mean, I saw him like crying too, breaking down and shit.
Yeah.
And that happens. When that spirit overwhelms you, it's just like, wow, this is a lot of energy. And it's
so all right.
Kanye needed that shit.
We thought it was dope. Now the interesting question then is about Kanye and how genuine some of this shit is, and then like his merch that he's selling for a lot of money.
Ungodly money.
And it's like, you know, the socks say church socks, and like there's a sweater that says Holy Spirit and like God and whatever. What do you guys think about him selling merch like that?
I mean, I think it's well within his right. Like he can do that. He can definitely do that. I just think it's up to the people, to the consumers. Like, if you have a problem with it, don't fucking buy it. Because you see that a lot, especially with Kanye in particular. People say they don't fuck with him and then cop some Yeezys or like wait in line for some Yeezys. That shit's dumb. So I don't have to me, it kind of seems like a little, it doesn't hit my spirit right. I'm like, you kind of seem a little slimy, but do you? That's how I feel about it.
I pretty much feel exactly the same way. Like, I don't even really see how, to be honest, I don't even really see how it's this big talking point right now. Because it's like, the main thing to me is regardless of wherever he's coming from, which just like the Lil Dicky shit with whatever, we don't know.
Exactly.
And yeah, you could say his track record, like he's switching up on different things so much and jumps from this to that like his track record says this. And that's fine.
I don't know what the fuck his track record says.
Right. That's where I'm at.
Right.
And so think what you want. But my thing is like, we're gonna get up in arms about a guy making money off of merch that, like, if there's anything that's like zoomed out more to show like his whole set.
I mean, there's no like official like.
I mean, the camera I saw was from like the choir section. I was like in the choir, so I don't know.
But if people are gonna get
damn,
yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's pretty cool.
Cool. If people are gonna get up in arms about Kanye selling, Mo, if you just type in on Twitter Kanye Sunday service and look for the images.
The images, you don't want the video?
No. The first one will be a Teletubbies thing because that's what it looked like. But then after that, there's just some aerial shots that look pretty cool. Anyway, back to my point. If we're gonna get mad at Kanye selling merch that says Holy Spirit and church socks and stuff for X amount of money, but then we're not gonna get mad at how many artists we have out there selling merch with drugs on it and the devil and 666 and all these different like bad messages and making money off of it.
Right.
But we're mad at the positive message that make money because they're exploiting. Dude, I can't be mad about everything, man. I
think church socks is a really good idea.
Yeah,
because that's like a thing. Church socks are a thing.
I think it's clever.
That's clever as shit.
So
but, I mean, the Holy Spirit, like whatever else he has, I don't know. Like again, he can do it. Fucking sell it. Damn, that is sick.
Yeah.
Wow. Looks like some crop circle type shit.
Right.
Is that the eye of Horus?
I'm with you though, bro. Like if you don't like it, don't buy it. Cool. If there's people out there that like it and they buy it, cool.
Yeah. I don't
like
give a fuck.
Whatever, man. But he has a right to sell it. Like
right.
Yeah. Can you feel grimy about it because you don't think he's of that? Whatever. But I also don't. That gets really grimy to me to start talking about some other dude that I don't know about if he's of that or not. If he has a right to like, because who does that?
That's what I'm saying. Most people that, if damn near every other person that I see or heard that talks about other people like that, they aren't doing the same shit themselves.
Because dude, like I'm Christian. I don't want to not be able to have like apparel that represents God and Christianity and Holy Spirit and whatever. You can't do that because nobody is dope enough to be able to make a merch like that.
Yo, it's like church people are selling merch.
Yeah.
Like pastors and shit.
Why not, bro? It, like people, and if people like that and want to wear that, then someone should profit off it. Cool.
And like Kanye is a perfect example because I recently have took my boycott of fucking Kanye West. And I'm not going to listen to his shit. Except I listened to that Coachella. He wasn't performing. It was a choir. It was dope. But I don't have any problem with anyone else listening to him or anything he does. Or it's like, I don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't have to support him, so I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Like, I don't have to buy his shit. I don't have to listen to his music.
You're right.
Simple as that. I don't have to get all pissed off because everyone else is.
Right.
No.
Like, he's not holy. Did you hear what he...
I don't think that's
where this where this conversation gets grimy to me is like, it seems like that's the bottom line reason for the people that are really up in arms about this merch and how much it costs and Kanye doing it is like, he doesn't have a right to do that. Who are you?
That's real.
So basically nobody can do it because name anybody and you can probably find some skeletons in there.
Nobody but a church.
Yo,
right.
Exactly. And even then,
he who cast the first stone, dude. Like, exactly. I mean, it's one of those things.
Only God can judge me.
Yeah, like, come on, man.
Don't
whatever. If somebody wants to do something positive, it's like we said.
But then
we don't know their intentions. But if the result is something that's okay, which to me, having socks that say church socks that people can buy that aren't forced to buy, that can buy voluntarily, like there's nothing bad about that.
Nah, that's
fine. That's the same rule as like, so you're not allowed to like talk about God and profit off of it.
That's what do pastors work for free? Do people that work in the church work for free?
There's so many talk show, radio, whatever hosts that have a Christian like background and profit off of the fact that they are.
And I guess
like
that can
be.
There's so many,
and there is a line to be drawn somewhere. And I guess that's where maybe some people are talking with like how much his merch costs, because there are pastors and stuff like that start making just like goo gobs of money where you're actually like taking advantage of people to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you really are like, depending on what you're preaching, if you're like not live. Like, I don't know. There's a difference between an artist and a pastor.
I think this is the wrong discussion though, as far as like, dude, Kanye's been charging tons of shit for his shit.
That's what I mean. He's an artist. He's an artist.
Yeah. And so I don't care what he puts on his shit. Like it's gonna cost $200 for a T-shirt.
Well, that's what I mean. So is that the only thing? What else can Kanye not put on his merch? Like that's part of the reason. That's what I'm saying. That's part of the reason people sell merch as an artist is to make money.
Right.
And if this is something that's important to him and he wants to put it on his merch, cool.
That's why I say it's the wrong discussion, dude. Like we're actually arguing about, is Kanye charging too much for his merch? Period.
Right.
Probably. But you don't have to fucking buy it.
Right.
That's the thing.
And that's what I'm saying is I don't care what he puts on
that shit's all expensive as hell. But
yeah, that's what's so funny is like I could sit here all day and anybody on Twitter that sits there and says he's charging too much for his shit. If I could charge $100 for a Speck t-shirt and sell the same amount, I would do it. I'm sorry.
Nipsey, like R.I.P. to the fucking God.
Yeah.
His $100 mixtape.
Yeah.
He gave it out for free, but also charged $100. Yeah. So people are like, I'm not paying $100. You don't fucking have to.
And you know there were people
out there. Is forcing
and
you know
there were people out there that were like, $100 this motherfucker. Yeah, I saw it too.
And
it's like, no, bro.
There's a free one.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy it.
Dude, the market is in charge, dude. If no one is paying for that, then you charge too much.
It's worth what they pay
But
for
if they are,
then
guess what? You actually hit it.
I hit it.
Dumbasses.
All right, y'all. That's about it. You got anything, Q? Anything we didn't touch on?
That's been fruitful.
I got to peep that new Schoolboy.
Yeah, it's just tight.
My new record's dropping Friday.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I feel like I overhyped that.
Oh, shit. Maury, next week.
Pack, this shit is super tame. New record out Friday. Our new spring line is up at the website. Go peep that. We got shades. We got some hats. We got the Easter colors. We got T-shirts.
We got it all.
Also, Yoke Fest for anybody around the Lansing area. Apollo, as well as Ali Joseph and Galaxy and Trey Benson are putting on a show here in Lansing at Max Bar Friday night. I will be there. Q will be there.
Hell yeah.
And I just wanted to give them a quick plug and a shout out because I was talking to Q before we went live, and I just think I've talked about these guys before. I just think it's really cool that some of these young cats are getting together and doing shit together,
right?
And putting on for the city together.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the whole reason the Specktators and Green Scheme, even like we became friends.
Yeah.
Like, because we were like, hey, we're bringing a fair amount of people to our shows, but what's that, like 30, 40?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are bringing a fair amount of people to your shows consistently, same numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Why not combine them and do shows together?
Yeah. And
we did it, and we became really good friends and went through this, navigated this music shit together, and it's just cool to see that from the next wave. Right. And so I just wanted to shout them out. They're doing good things, and I will be there. I hope to see you guys there on Friday. I think you can still get tickets at the door. I know there's some available as of now. I won't guarantee that you can get them at the door, but
I got a donation to read.
Oh, let's go.
MC Cause, $4.99.
MC, hey, good look, bro.
MC.
Hashtag Mo should rap.
Mo did rap.
He should rap his crank.
Yeah. Or he has another. Look up Spark Notes. Is that still out there on the web? Or you take that shit down?
Fuck no.
Mo, can we shout out your big news?
What's my big news? No, we can't.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. Cut that.
Nah, it's live.
Mo is having oh, they already know?
Oh shit, having a better day.
He's having better days.
All right, that was episode 62. We will be back next Wednesday. Daggs will be back from Vegas.
He might.
Or he might just stay out there.
Yeah, he should.
Hey, bring back the bacon, boy.
Yeah, by the way, I'm not one to normally just bitch about the weather because we live in Michigan and we've grown up here. Like, if you're bitching about the weather all the time, it's like, what are you doing? But going forward, we're getting into summertime. We're supposed to, have nice weather in the summer, whatever.
Hopefully.
Okay, when it shits on us, fine. Do not shit on us just on the weekends because this weekend is going to be like that. It was nice today. It was nice yesterday. It's going to be nice tomorrow, like whatever. And this weekend's supposed to be shitty. And like 2 or 3 years ago, we had one of the worst summers with that, where it was you're working all day and it's super nice out, and then you get to the weekend and it's awful. So I'm just putting that out there right now. It's not even May yet. Don't fuck us.
Please, Lord.
All right. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
Peace.